Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be talking about a couple things you should look into when buying secondhand wheels. First things first is replicas. Now this is an XXR wheel, and this is an authentic XXR wheel. I have all the paperwork and the receipts. However, if this were to say Varston, so this XXR actually make replica wheels. They're not exactly replicas, like they don't say Varston, you know, they're not one-for-one replicas, but they do copy the style. These are, I believe, made in China, so their purpose is to just copy and make a much more budget version of the authentic wheel. So it is essentially a copy wheel, but it's not an exact replica. Another thing you're going to want to look into is tire tread. Now if you look here, you can tell the person had a bit of camber, considering that this side is completely bald and here is like practically new. I can stick my finger in there and it's, you know, it's basically new. In fact, it still has the little flaps here from when it was new. Basically this wheel here has the wire sticking out, so that's another reason to not put camera on your car, but that's for a separate video. So that's with the tire tread. So if the tread is no longer good on your car, I would suggest replacing the tires, which is what I'm actually planning on doing today. Another thing is tire size. Now these tires are 205, 45, or 40, 17. Now, if you know anything about tires, this is a pretty small tire. If you can tell by just looking here, you can see both lips of the wheel sticking out, which means that this is a stretch tire, and this is far too small. This is actually a 17/9 rim, so the optimal size for this tire would actually be 255. So you're gonna want to look into that as well. Not to mention that these are Diamondback tires. It's a Chinese brand. I've heard mixed things about them. If I were you, just spend the extra, $100, $200 to get, some real tires. Says the guy who bought XXR rims. So with that said, you're gonna want to now look at the back and check for cracks. So there'll be brake dust here. Make sure you wash your hand after touching that. This is carbon, so it's very toxic to inhale. It's not some good stuff you want to inhale from the carbon brake pads, or carbon ceramic brake pads, pardon me. So now you're going to want to look at wheel offset. I'll talk about that. So this actually has a 35, I don't know if it's going to focus. Anyways, has a 35 offset. So what that means is, oh, pardon me here. What you're going to want to check is the offset that your vehicle can actually handle, because you don't want the inside of your wheel to rub against the suspension or to interfere with it in any way when you're driving along or when you're turning, to have it scrape alongside the wall of your wheel well. So you want to avoid that. So you want to make sure that the offset will fit. I believe there's calculators online to do it, or you can just Google what's the offset what's the maximum offset for a wheel, for example, 17/9, and then it'll tell you. So the maximum offset would be 38, but since it's 35, I will have enough clearance, so I will not need a spacer. If it's higher, you will need a spacer. However, spacers can damage your hub, so you will want to look into that if that's something you're willing to do. Another thing is tires or wheel size. Right, so if for example, this was like 20/11, this would not fit my car, right? So you want to make sure that the wheel you buy will actually fit your car. Simple Google searches will be able to tell you. So you do want to look into that. Last thing, and this will be probably the most obvious one, is hub size. So you want to make sure the wheels will actually fit the hub of your car. So if you have a spare hub, or if they're coming off a vehicle that's the same vehicle as yours, you'll know it'll fit your car. Also, if it has a multi-hub system, you'll want to double check that, of course, unless you don't really care. Then just make sure it fits your vehicle. So just have a way to ensure that it'll fit, or at least see if if a reputable person will actually return the wheels if they don't fit. So that's about it. pardon my my lack of script in my phone camera. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.